this? Lilo? All right, we are live. We are live inside of the Mega Mix Expo Facebook group. We can go ahead and just say hello. And
Hello,
then also,
everyone.
yes, also in general, Lilo, since we're just getting this off the ground, let's just dive in. And since this is something that we're looking to start doing, is interviewing a new business from the Mega Mix Expo, interviewing someone else who's been an exhibitor once a week every Thursday, and you're the very first one, Lilo. So thank you, for who you are, and from that, let's just dive right in. Tell everybody who is Lilo More Health, and go right ahead, take it away.
Okay, so first of all, thank you so much for having me, Karu. It's a pleasure to connect with people that want to heal and thrive. So, what I do is I like to tell a story.
Go right
So,
ahead.
you know how there is a lot of people out there that they are in pain, they are dealing with chronic disease, and they are looking to become healthier and live a better life. So what I do is I provide them my coaching guidance with a holistic approach of health, so then they can improve their quality of life. So they can prevent chronic disease, lose weight or gain weight, depending their fitness goals, but also they can increase their energy levels. And what is very interesting is that sometimes we are just looking for my clients to balance their blood sugar levels, and there is at the end of the program the outcome is way bigger than just that. So instead of just getting like the sugar levels balance and in equilibrium, what they get is actually um, way more energy. They get the best sleep ever. They improve their relationships, their actually their relationship with food improves as well, and they become more active. They just explore areas of life that never had the chance to explore before because their condition and because they were just thinking that they were just sick, right? But once they gain that power, they know what works best for them and they become healthier. They are also happier, and that's what inspires me to do my work. And yeah, I apply my holistic approach.
Right on, then. That's what's up. So I like that you started with a story, right? Because in general, we could start with just like the facts and just the da 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 da. But it's cool to hear the background and cool to hear how you got into things and what drives you, right? So basically, thank you for sharing us with that. So let's just dive into your world, right? Same kind. Let's just have a free flowing conversation, right? So diving into your role, how you were just sharing right now, a bit of that. Where is the main part that you see where people need the most help with what you do, and how do you help them most with what you do?
I will say pain. I will say pain because when the body is experiencing pain, like pain is just information. That's the way how the body is telling us, is an alert. It's telling us that something is wrong, that we need to address something, and it needs attention. So pain is one of the symptoms of many diseases. When someone is having a loss of inflammation, arthritis, their knees, their joints start to be painful. Like even working out for them can be painful, right? But also when someone is having gastrointestinal issues, bloating, and all the uncomfortable feelings after eating, it's pain as well. Or even constipation, right? Hemorrhoids is pain. Or someone that is super stressed out and is not active enough, and their cardiovascular health is not efficient, and like they are just very sedentary, and they tend to have lots of migraines, so that's pain as well. When someone is going through chemotherapy, we also see that there is lots of pain. So I feel pain is one of the symptoms that most of the people have experienced when it comes to like their health, and that they are like, oh, they are aware that something is wrong. And what I do to address that and support their healing process is applying Reiki healing. So I love Reiki healing because it's very gentle and it's so deep and effective type of healing, but also it supports the healing process with my clients. So let's say they want to do more exercising, but they're just having lots of headaches, they're having a hard time to go to sleep, and then you can ask someone to go and work out and do their best if they're sleep deprived, right? So someone needs to sleep well in order to go and work out. But also, for someone to lose weight, sleep quality is so important. So when we are not having sleep quality and good hygiene, sleep hygiene, then it's hard to make better food choices. So because everything kind of becomes a fly or fight response, and our sympathetic nervous system, it's on most of the time. So that just triggers our some hormones that are just worrying is the name of the hormone, that is just telling our body that we need more food, right? So it's hard to really make good food choices when we are under so much stress, or when we are sleep deprived, or when we are actually not exercising, because our body is kind of stuck in there. So there are so many components, and that's why I love holistic health, and that's why I love Reiki. So when we target pain and we are able to address pain, then the other things can also be addressed, right? We reduce pain, the person can sleep, and then we can say, okay, let's get into the fitness now. So then the fitness plan goes right and starts turn on, and then we can incorporate those food choices that are smart, and pick the best food for my clients. So then we go on with the nutrition coaching, and then I am able to provide this whole package of evidence-based, but also this beautiful, gentle, ancient energy healing, which is Reiki. And with all that, I'm able to support people's pain and people's health, to promote deep healing.
Right on, right on. Thank you for that. That that when you speak, I always mention that you're educating as you're talking, right? Just naturally, like even if it's not alive, just the way that you say things is just you're educating as you speak it. But basically from there, so that makes sense. So the main way that you see that you help people is through pain. They have some kind of pain, like how you
Mhm.
said, that's the body's alert system, right?
Yeah.
And from there, you figure out like why, whether it's how you said constipation or the cancer, or how you said being sleep deprived or different things. And I like how you call it. How you said sleep hygiene, right?
Yes, it's so
Yeah,
important.
yeah, and so then once you figure out, what the pain problem is, then from there you figure out, hey, how do we help you based on that,
Yeah.
right? Okay, so then I guess dive us more into that. Like when you help them out based on that, like how you said main thing you help people with is pain, right? So then I guess what would you say is one of the most common, or like two or the most common ones that are people's pains and problems, and how do you help them? Like what kind of treatments do you give them? How do you go about that?
Okay, I can think of two type of pains right now that I know how to address, and I have had experience with different clients. The first one is one of my favorite, I would say, because it was actually I learned all these tools back in 2010, and I did my self-healing journey. So I was able to heal myself, and then actually my first client back in 2020, she was living in Australia, and for her whole life she was having hemorrhoids. So you know how it's like going to the bathroom and it's painful, but also it's bleeding, like you are bleeding within you, like inside you. Like she was dealing with that for her whole life. She was 34. And since she remembers, she will always have a very hard time going to the bathroom.
Okay.
And so it was really, really painful for her. She was always like low energy. And even she tried all sort of diets and things that they people will recommend her and the doctors will send her. It didn't work for her. Anything, like nothing worked.
Yeah.
So we start the holistic health program with her. I didn't apply any Reiki back in time, but what we did was a very close step by step health plan with them. And for our surprise, within just few weeks, she was able to go to the bathroom like with no pain,
Wow.
like just let's say 4 weeks. And
Wow.
then not just that. So she was able to go to the bathroom like a normal human being that has good digestion, right? But also, what happened with her was a huge transformation within her lining in her gastrointestinal tract.
She
And
had
how
a
we
what?
know
She had a what inside there?
a lining, the lining in the gastrointestinal tract is the walls
Okay.
inside. So
Okay.
our gastrointestinal tract is super long. Just the small intestine is 16 feet long.
Okay.
So all our gastrointestinal tract start from our mouth all the way down to our intestines and then to the area where like we are screening waste and like yeah. So the thing is, she was able to recover the lining within her gastrointestinal
Yeah.
tract. So she was able to have a better gut health,
Okay.
and we could see that she could experience how healthy her gut health became because she will not be bloated anymore. She will not have a hard time going to the bathroom. She started to do more exercising. She started to move more her body, and her skin started to change as well. So she will look more beautiful, she will have more energy, and she was able to finally start working out and doing some movement. Then she got engaged. I mean, so many beautiful things happened to her during the 6 month program with me. And I like to share this story with people because it's so inspiring. Like, people might be struggling with gastrointestinal health for their whole life, and it's so painful. And what I say is like, eating it doesn't supposed to be painful. If it's painful, is something is wrong. If you're bloated, if you have pain after eating, that food is not supporting you, right? And we gotta pick foods that are better for us. I love saying a quote that Dr. Amen says all the time. He says, eat the food that you love and that loves you back. And that's so true. That's my main like my requirement when it comes to like picking the food, right? It's like you get to enjoy it, but also be conscious that that is a food that actually supports your health with your specific needs and requirements.
Thank you for that. I want to have more follow up into what you just mentioned, right? And that was a really like good graphic thing that, to my understanding, is more common than people think it is or know it is, right? Because it sounded like ugh, as soon as you mentioned it, like ouch, right?
People
Um,
normalize pain.
yeah, yeah. But I wanted you have some fans here. So Monica Aguilar, she mentioned, hey, she said you and Reiki are incredible.
Oh, thank you. So sweet.
Yeah, and also
Additional. Love
over
it.
here, Ivy Day. She was
Mhm.
at the Mega Mix Expo, the same one you were an exhibitor at, and I believe she was an exhibitor as well. And she just says, "Hello, Carlos and Lilo."
Hello, hello.
Yes. So I just want you to know, so that way they're engaging with you. You can respond directly to them. So I'm handling that part. But continue. Oh, actually, Monica said our gut is our second brain.
Yeah, a lot of people say in that way. And you know what happens is our gut, as I mentioned before, is so long. The track is super long. But a lot of people say it's our second brain. You know why? For many reasons. One is that it is connected with our immune system. Is right there is all our little friends, the microbiota that are there. It's like, imagine them, they are like super tiny, but those guys are amazing. They're working inside our gastrointestinal health, like our gastrointestinal tract, And they're like little bacteria that they're really good. They are protecting us from external agents, from viruses and stuff that could attack our body. And they work very, very hard within our gynae lining, so then we are protected. And that's why the food that we eat and the health of that lining is so important. Imagine the lining. So I always talk about the lining because it's very, very important. Why is important? Because the lining are is like a long tube that goes all the way inside us, and the walls are made of tight junctions. So those tight junctions are like little things that are like very how you say, like they are absorbing the nutrients. And in the small intestine, that is the one that absorbs the most nutrients in the digestive process, we have lots of those tight junctions, and then they need to be tied to each other. So they need to be very close to each other, and they are all covering the lining. What happens is, like, if we have a diet that is not supporting our health, and those tight junctions start to loosen and to make a space among them, that space among them is going to allow the viruses to come directly to our bloodstream. And then
Ah,
we are going to lose defense. We don't have more protection. And that's when people experience food sensitivities. That's when people experience bloating and loss of pain. And it's because, their body is not able to protect. Those walls have to be very tight. Those tight junctions have to be close to each other. But once that is called the leaky gut, that's why, like, the bacteria can go through.
oh,
Tight junctions have space among themselves. They are
oh,
supposed to be very tight, protecting us, right? Like when you have a shield, all each little tight junction is like a little shield that is protecting us.
ah,
So it's so fascinating to understand this part, because that is how we are talking about immunity. We have these white blood cells that they are in that area of our gastrointestinal health, and then those are the ones that are also protecting us against viruses. For one side, right? If we're talking about something that is tangible, immunity, but also in that area, in our gut, also we process emotions. And that is the tricky part that a lot of people don't get. So the thing is that I know that now more than for science. I know that now because Reiki. Like,
okay.
science can tell you about immunity and can tell you how is your second brain. You process a lot of things that's there, but actually you do process emotions. So when I do a scan with Reiki, I'm able to tap. And something that is very interesting is that I could feel the people's emotions happening in that area, or that have been accumulated in that area. And it's
Okay.
right there. It's right there in the stomach, in the low belly, in like where the gut happened, where all the absorption of nutrients are happening in our body. And it's also the same area where our emotions are getting stuck or are flowing if we are allowing it to happen. So that
Ah,
is so interesting. Now I can meet science with, the ancient knowledge and, of Reiki, and how I could actually feel that when I am in a Reiki session with my clients, so I can understand deeply their unique needs and know that, they need to process better their emotions, but also, that also impact the way how their bodies are processing the food. So yeah.
that's interesting. So, because I've heard of leaky gut,
Yes,
right?
that's
And
the tight
I
junctions.
guess, say that again.
The tight junctions.
The
That's why
tight
junctions.
junctions.
Mm-hmm. I
Tight
couldn't pronounce
junctions.
it. Yeah,
Okay.
they are called tight junctions. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, because I've heard of leaky gut, but that gave it a visual.
Yeah.
So, basically, as you eat bad foods, it breaks it down, and
Yes,
then
like
from that,
sugars. I
instead of being tight like this, it
Yes,
opens up, and then
yes,
those open
loosen.
spaces is where
Yes,
now it becomes leaky gut.
leaky.
So then
Yes,
things can get through. So things
yes.
actually exit your gut.
Yeah, like hablemos de
Reiki, de sanación de Reiki, porque muchas personas no son muy familiarizadas y yo recomiendo Reiki altamente debido a que es un tratamiento de sanación energético que permite ir a las partes del cuerpo físico, pero también del cuerpo emocional, permitiendo la sanación profunda a nivel celular, a nivel energético, de cualquier tipo de anormalidad física o emocional. Entonces, los ayudo a través de la terapia de Reiki, fortaleciendo su sistema inmune, fortaleciendo su capacidad de regeneración celular y de sanación profunda a nivel físico y también espiritual y emocional.
It's crazy. Things that they don't supposed to go into your bloodstream.
Yeah.
Things that they don't suppose, because those tight junctions, those little guys, they are filled up with the bacteria that is protecting us with probiotics, right? And they are like they're fighting for us, like to make sure our body is absorbing the nutrients, the minerals that we need. But when those tight junctions they are loosened up, instead of just the filter, because they are actually absorbing but filtering, because everything has to go through them. But if the tight junctions just have spaces and they're like just loosening up, then a lot of things can go through, not just the nutrients but also viruses and bacteria that might be harmful for our body.
So I have a question, but before we get it, or you're going to say something else? Go ahead. Go ahead.
No,
Uh,
ask.
I have a question, but before we get into that question, Monica Aguilar with stars, she says you are so radiant.
Thank you so much. It's all about what I do and I teach my clients. Every person that works with me is able to get all my secrets, all my tips, everything that I've been experiencing for many years now, and that I'm able to share with others so they can level up their health and be as radiant, as healthy as me. So I'm able to share all this. So you guys are welcome, seriously.
Awesome. See, I told you guys, like for everyone who might have seen the post, I was like, you're gonna feel her energy. Everyone does. And I mentioned that to you from the get-go, Lilo, right? But my question is this. So how back on the leaky gut thing, right? Because I've heard of that. I feel I eat pretty, solid, decent, good food and stuff. But can you still get a leaky gut even if you eat good food?
Yeah, the thing is here, and that's as holistic health coach. I I run a health history with my clients. And this
Okay.
is a very important thing because sometimes we think that we are eating the right food. I
Yeah.
thought that I was eating the right food when I was growing up. And the thing is that the diet that works for us is so unique. Like, I cannot tell if you are good with keto. I cannot tell. I have to go and study you first. I have to scan you. I have to know your history. I have to know your background, your lifestyle, the type of food choices that you used to take. How is your emotional management? I have to know so many things in order to go and say, you know what, you need more protein, you know what, you need more vegetables, you know what, these type of vegetables might not be supporting you. And and this is a very, I can bring up a very good sample right now, that happened with one of my clients. She
Okay.
was with gastrointestinal issues, gastritis, and she will be always like, Lilo, I don't know what happened, salad's supposed to be healthy, right? And I'm like, well, tell me what type of salads. And she will be like, yes, I'm eating my salads, and like every time I eat this type of salad that has lettuce, it just gets me so bloated. And I was like, interesting, tell me more. And I was like digging and digging, and we went through elimination diets. And guess what?
Elimination diets.
Yeah, that is one of the techniques that I use to build up the right diet for my clients based on their unique needs.
Gotcha.
So we went through that, and it turns out she was allergic to lettuce, and that's
Really?
why it was messing up her health. And not
Mm.
allergic, but she will have like a degree of sensitivity, so it will be no fun for her to eat lettuce. Like, it was just like, and she was like, something is wrong here, and we
Yeah.
went through that with in detail. So I bring this here because I know it can sound crazy, but some people might have sensitivity with bananas. For some people, eating a banana could be like, that's insane, that's so much sugar. For others, like me, I can eat all the bananas as ripe as I want, and they don't spike my blood sugar is like, it's all good. But for some people, one single banana can be like, ooh, that's too much because the glycemic index. So there are so many things that we gotta take into account when it comes to eating healthy. Because when we think that something is healthy, might not be that healthy for you because we are so unique, and there is no such a thing as one size fits all. There is no such a thing when it comes to health, and that's why I sit with my clients, and that's why I study them, and they are, each person is so unique. We are value individuals, and even if we grew up in the same household, our needs are so unique. Like seriously, we are so there is no another human like us. And that's why our food, our diet, our requirements are so special and are so unique. So telling someone that this is healthy for the general population is a little bit of like, I could not generalize. Like, no, I need
Okay.
to go and see how is your overall health. I need to go and see your past, your present, your food choices, a lot of variables. And then I can say, this might be good for you. And then I can give you a guidance, and I can give you plenty of options among you can pick from and build up your own unique, exclusive diet, if that makes
Got
sense.
it. It does make sense. It does make sense. So I'm gonna speak more on that, but I want to make sure that like you also get to speak with the people.
Yeah,
So
bring it
Monica
up.
was just saying, hey, yes, we get to share health. And then Tony came in and just said, awesome. And
Oh,
Ivy Day, thank you for the compliment. She said, I'm the man, the myth, the legend. And she says, Lilo is a holistic healer and a gem, and she put a diamond in that with that comment.
that
And she
is
said,
so sweet. Thank you so much. So much love in here. And I'm always giving so much love to people. And like, yeah, I love it.
yeah, she said thank you for coming on. So that's from Ivy Day.
Awesome.
Yeah. Okay, so to follow up with that, what you were saying, right?
Mhm.
Because that, as you were mentioning it, you're like the leaky gut thing, and I was like, okay, I'm pretty, on it with like, power focused and man foods and all this stuff, right? And and it varies, like whether it's like fruits and vegetables, meats and things and all this, right? What's like I've studied what's best for a man, you know what I mean? And I'm an athlete, like I'm always physically active since forever, so I just look into that stuff. But as you were saying what you were saying, I was like, well, then can you get leaky gut even if you eat healthy food? And you're saying yes. So I guess obviously, someone should get in contact with you. But what I mean is like, let's say for the average person, how do they kind of gauge like what can somebody do at home to like figure out, hey, what healthy foods are good for them? Like
Mhm.
just pay attention to their body overall, like what feels good or not, or like what else? Because like how you said, we may grow up with things that we like since forever, right? Just as kids, and we're like, hey, it's overall healthy food, but it's actually not. So how
Yeah.
do we begin to, I guess, self-diagnose or figure that out for ourselves to keep our tight junctions
Healthy.
connected, right?
Connected.
Yeah.
Yes. Cutting each other.
Yes.
Okay, so yes, there are some well, it's a lot of part of like ancient knowledge, part of it is like more modern, but it's just going back to basics. So what I always say, general for every human being, there is something that I could say is general when it comes to food, and is going to basics, is and eating the whole foods, non-processed foods. That's the
Okay.
best way to go.
Okay.
One reason, the high processed foods, they have so many additives, but also most of them have like high levels of sodium and high levels of sugar, lots of sugar added. And sugar creates lots of inflammation within the body, and not just in articulations, but also in the gut, everywhere. It also, if it's too much intake of sugar, also creates imbalance in the way how the cells are perceiving insulin. So then it creates, it messed up a lot of processes, body functions. So we don't want that, right? So that's why I could say, in general, for every human being, the best way to go when it comes to food is going for whole foods, fruits, vegetables, fresh meats, and listen to your body. People that they go into a vegetarian diet because they genuinely feel way better when they eat more vegetables than when they eat meat, good for them, go for it. But some people do it might be for a external approbation, or for something, that for a fashion, for a trend. That could be so dangerous, because, well, there is something that I do with my clients, and that's why I can address specifically the type of diet that support their health. But it's a long process, so it's like not something that I'm gonna share here with people. The
Yeah,
thing is,
yeah,
giving some tips that people can do, create more awareness, but other things have to be like with my guidance within my coaching program, pretty much. So we are
yeah.
able to build that type of healthy diet, like very, in a very whole approach. So what I will say for every human being is, go for whole foods, go for foods that are non-processed, right? Like, my favorite area in the supermarket is the produce section, and usually it's on the islands. I don't go inside the grocery store, inside the sections, unless I'm looking for sea salt or olive oil. Maybe.
You don't go into what sections you said?
Well, the grocery store, the way how the grocery store is designed is that the produce is in the peripheral, and then the processed foods are in the middle, in the islands that are in the middle.
Wow, as you said that right now, I just pictured my Walmart, and I just
Yes,
pictured the stores I go to, right? And you're right. It's on the sides.
yes.
Oh snap. And it's
So you
towards
don't
the
have to
back.
lose time going all around. You can just go straight to this. That's why I love. Look, my grocery shopping is 10 minutes every week. People are
I
like,
mean,
wait, what? Ten
no, same,
minutes?
no, same here. I'm like, boom, right? Because I know what I'm getting. I know the things I want, unless I'm gonna like find something else. But the thing is, I go just to the sections you're talking about. But what I'm getting at is, like, you're right. They're designed that way, where they're along the edges and the sides and the back, right? And then from there, everything else in the middle. I didn't realize that. And so that's interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
they
give a grocery tour to my clients. Yeah,
wow.
part of it is teaching them that, and other part is teaching them how to read the food labels, the nutrition
Yeah,
labels,
yeah.
to pick better foods. But yeah, everything that has to do with less processed foods as possible, that's the
Okay.
best way to go. Because look, be aware when you go and you see these food labels. Speaking of food labels, and like the ingredients list, like crazy solo, you cannot even pronounce them, like you don't know what is in there. Be aware of that, because
Yeah,
if you don't know what is in there, what are you putting inside your body?
yeah,
Like, that's the thing. So
yeah.
that's why I trust, my vegetables, my fruits, and my fresh produce, and my fresh meats, and all that. So yeah, that's the best way to go. And I could say that in general could apply for everyone. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. So basically, overall, in general, for helping keep our tight junctions together, so that way they don't loosen up and we get leaky
Yeah,
gut,
we
which
got
then
them to
things
be.
go into our gastrointestinals or into
Mhm.
our bloodstream and the rest of our body and
Yes.
causes more problems. To
Yep.
help keep the Trojans together, right? Essentially, stick with whole foods. That's like a number one rule off the bat,
Yeah.
right? So stick to not less processed foods. All right,
Mhm.
that part makes sense. Good to know that we could still get leaky gut even though we eat healthy foods.
Yeah,
That's good to
because look, let's say someone might think like, oh, is this bread is healthy because it's got like it's whole grain bread is healthy, right? Like people would think that that's healthy, the a specific type of bread. And it might be healthy, but it might not be. So the thing is that each person, based on their health history, they might develop any sort of sensitivity to gluten. Gluten is a very interesting protein. It's the protein of the wheat. And for some people, it might be hard to process because to break down gluten molecules within the body is a little hard. So that breaking down process of the gluten and absorbing and processing it in the body could be very hard for people. And even though they think that that bread will be healthy, then it turns out that it's not that healthy if they already have any sort of sensitivity. Yes, that's the question.
Yeah. Yeah, you just said gluten is a protein.
Is
I
a
don't know.
protein.
I
Gluten
don't
is
know.
the protein of the wheat.
So I don't know that
Wheat is
gluten
a
is a.
type of grain,
Yeah, I understand wheat
and also
bread.
it's a protein of wheat, rye, and barley. If I'm
Okay,
not wrong.
so I guess here's the question, right? Because
Mhm.
you just mentioned, hey, this is a healthy kind of bread. It's the healthy type of wheat bread. So it's
Yeah,
like the protein bread. So because it has the gluten stuff, right? But then why do all these things say gluten free?
yeah. Well, that's the thing. I am not like super against gluten, but as I said, for some people, something that can be amazing for you, for others can be a poison. So some people develop this gluten sensitivity that their body is not able to take it anymore, and it's just they have a hard time processing it because breaking down the molecules of gluten is very hard. It's one of the very like very strong, like tough type of protein. And that's why you feel like the feeling, like when you eat gluten you feel like heavy, like oh, feeling like satisfied. It gives you satiety, and it's because it's a protein, like it's got protein. I have seen the protein that looks like tofu. Like it's a process where you take the flour, the wheat flour, and you put it like with water, and it's like a process of like compression that you can kind of separate the gluten, like the protein itself, from the starch of the wheat flour, and it actually becomes like very tough, like very hard, like a kind of like a tofu type of texture. And I have tried, and it's pretty good. It's very tasty. But of course, for some people, eating that would be like, no way. That's like so heavy to eat.
Yeah.
Some people can eat and digest gluten very well. Some people no. And what I said with those breads, even though they say like healthy, when you go in at the back and see the food label, it could be like has sugar added, is with canola oils or like all sort of like process a high process of trans fats. They also add like additives and preservatives so then the bread can stay longer. There are a lot of things that happen within the processed foods that even if it is labeled like gluten free or even is labeled like healthy, it might not be healthy because our bodies have specific requirements. Yeah.
So pardon, it's interesting, right? So that's good to know. That's why it says non-gluten or gluten-free because it's a very hard protein to break down in
Yeah.
general, right? So I want to segue into another question, right?
Mhm.
Into another area of what you do, right? And so to help that segue, if you can just mention really quick all the certifications that you have and the one that you're about to get as well, because I know you've been studying really hard for your test and your exam, and you've been on it, just going at it. So
Yeah.
it's yours already. It's in the bag, just like all the other ones behind you are. But
Yeah.
to segue into that question, can you please mention to everybody all the certifications you have, please?
Yeah. So my first one that got me into this world of health and wellness, because my background is I'm an economist. I graduated from a bachelor's degree as an economist in 2015, and then in 2020, I was determined that it's gotta be a way to share all this that I've been gathering for years with people, and that's when I in 2020 started like going back to school. So I got certified. My first one is like my baby certification, like my initial one is as a holistic health coach, and I graduated from the Institute for Integrative Nutrition in New York City. After that certification, I wanted to go a little more deeper into the nutrition science, so then I got certified as a nutrition coach, and that is very evidence-based backed up. And then after that, I got another certification as a Reiki healer. So I can do in person and distant Reiki. That one I got it at the International Center for Reiki Training. And then the last one that I'm finishing, that I've been studying, like I've been in that one for a year. I already know everything in that certification because I already studied all that, but I'm just waiting for the test. That one is a certified personal trainer. So I'm bringing up the fitness coaching training here, guys. So
Right.
yeah,
Cool.
and if you go to my website and you see my pictures before and after, like before 2020, I was bloated. Like I wasn't like now. Like now I'm so fit. Like I feel at my best. Maybe I don't have the perfect body, like the standards, whatever. I don't follow for that. I just follow how great I feel, how strong is my body. You know how amazing is my digestion, how great is my skin, that I don't wear makeup.
I do help people by guiding them through a better lifestyle that is going to support their healing process or to prevent chronic disease. I do it with 3 approaches that support body, mind, and soul. So I do it with fitness coaching, nutrition coaching, and Reiki healing. I love sharing about one client that she was struggling with hemorrhoids for her whole life. She was 34 years old by then, and for 3 years she was like really having a bad time going to the bathroom. We never imagined that her recovery would be so fast. So just within the beginning of the program with me, she was able to go to the bathroom smoothly, and then finding the right food that would support her healing process and elevate her energy levels like never imagined before. Exercising, she was so afraid to go to the gym, and then she ended up doing lots of exercising, improving her health and wellness.
So things like that, how long my nails can grow and my hair is like, what? So all that, to say that I feel great, not just for outside, but from inside. You can see in the pictures, if you visit my website, there is like a before and after. You can see my pictures in 2020. I didn't look good. It's like, wait, what is this Lilo? And then you see the picture like this year, like last year, and well, like this is me now, a way better version. But I've been practicing all this fitness and coaching, nutrition and health for a long time now, and definitely I've always been loving exercising, but now I have more knowledge how to work with the muscles, how to create this proprioception in the body, and be more aware of like how to do the workout for specific goals. Yeah.
Right on. So I really enjoy what you said right now. You go, hey, I'm doing this for how great I feel, right? And you just talked about like for you as a lady, you're like how long my nails are growing and my hair and stuff like that, right? And so one thing,
everybody can get that with me.
yeah. And so one thing I've thought about, like similar, like for myself as a man, is because people have always asked, like, so what are you aiming for in regards to, like, because when I go to the gym, I'm pretty consistent. I'm always playing basketball, things like that, right? And I'm just very physically active, like doing outdoor stuff. I've swam with sharks, I've rock climbed, I've done all kinds of things. And so then people are like, well, what's your you want a six pack? Do you want this? Do you want that?
Yeah, your goal, your reason.
Yeah, and I'm like, to be honest, man, I care about performance. Like performance is what matters to me.
Speed, agility,
Yeah, I'm all about performance. That's all that matters to me. The fact that, like, as I'm getting older, I'm still strong, I'm still able, and I'm getting better in certain things, right? And so that's what matters to me. And so then from there, I'm like, well, the aesthetics follow. That's just like a byproduct. That's just like
an outcome.
It's just a benefit, the thing that happened, right? But like, I don't care about it. Like, all I care about is the performance. Like the fact that when I go and I ball with dudes who are dunking and, like literally overseas, in college, D1, wherever they're from, and I'm kicking them off the court, I'm hitting the game winner. Like, I'm still on again. They're on the sidelines watching. Right? Like, these was are in the early 20s. Yeah, you know what I mean? So that's what gets me like, all right, cool. I'm still locking down the defenders. You know what I mean? Like, so that to me is like, all right, that's what matters to me. Right? That I'm able to physically do with my daughter, that like you know, Daddy, and I turn around, she's midair, and I'm Pops. I gotta catch her, no matter what, and if she has
Oh,
things with her and stuff, I gotta, and then still be able to take her wherever we're going and carry, so that's what matters to me, and so when you said that, that's it right there. So just more power to you, Lilo. That's badass right there. That's badass.
yeah, that's what I do with people. Is like pick the food that you love and love you back. Pick the exercise that you love, and you feel like it really supports your health. And there are different things that I study with my clients in the health history process, and I scan them in order to say, yes, this is the type of exercise that will support you. Because not everybody's meant to do gym, not everybody's meant to do dancing, not everybody's meant to do swimming. Each person has their unique style and it's gotta be based on their unique needs. No everybody is meant to do a marathon, like, well, everybody can do things, but what I'm saying is like, depending of our body type, there are certain things that we are able to do easily and we are able to enjoy, and that's the secret, to enjoy, stick with the exercise plan, and move our body is just meant to move, and
Yeah.
that's one of the ways how we also heal a lot.
I like how you said that's the secret to enjoy. Like, ooh, right? Yeah.
Just be
So
there.
yeah. So to segue that, it's that question I want to ask. So basically, you have 3 certifications right now,
Yes, and I'm getting the fourth one. And I'm
and you're
majoring. Yeah,
getting
I
the fourth
forgot
one.
to say I do all these labs and stuff because I'm majoring in kinesiology. So in
Mm.
kinesiology and also learning all
So
about the
you have
science
4, and you're about to get
behind,
your fifth.
yes,
All
behind
right.
the movement of the human body, the kinetics. Yeah.
So with that being said, my question is, because we're about to wrap up here, right? In about like 14 minutes or so. And so this is an area where I've heard of it. I've never done it. I'm an energetic man and a being. I believe we are, right? But I don't know nowhere near as much as you do. And so the thing is, with all these certifications and degrees that you have that are science based and facts and so on, right? What led you into Reiki? And if you can talk on Reiki, and I'll just leave it open that way. If you can just speak on Reiki,
You
please
can see I love talking about Reiki.
educate us, like, because I'm familiar, though I don't know, so educate us on
Yeah.
Reiki, because you have all these degrees and certifications, 4,
Mhm.
and you're about to get your fifth. So
Yeah.
educate us on Reiki, because you're obviously
Well,
studying.
I seriously never in my entire life imagined that I would become a Reiki healer. For my whole life, my background in economics. I went to college for first time in 2010 for a bachelor's degree in economics, and I graduated in 2015. So 5 years of lots of math and statistics and all that has to do with like science, right? So I was always drawn for like facts, for evidence-based knowledge, for research. I always go to the articles that are peer review, that are like journals that are like science backed, right? Like with the scientific method proved. Okay, so always my whole life. And then when I went to the holistic school, even though it's actually this it's actually that diploma, integrative nutrition school is the largest and in like oldest nutrition school in the world. I mean, holistic nutrition school in the world. And even though it's integrative holistic nutrition health coach, the title that I got with them, um, we study lots of things that have to like alternative medicine. We study the blue zones, the Mediterranean diet, like the secrets and the things that are like wow, very ancient and all that. But we never studied Reiki, so I was like very like had no idea what is Reiki. And what really, really brought me to Reiki was out of luck, or I would say surprise, or I don't know, life, destiny, I don't know. So it was just literally like I didn't plan to know what is Reiki. I didn't at all. But what happens is I was I always love yoga. So I was on a retreat, like a yoga retreat, with sound bath and breath work. And we did hiking. It was like a bunch of girls. So I felt so safe in that space. I was like, this is really cool. And then the lady that was guiding the whole retreat, she was like, oh, and then the Reiki healer is going to pass by. We were all laying down in our yoga mats. She said the Reiki healer is gonna go down and she's gonna touch you, and like we are all about healing here. And I was like, bring it in, I'm fine and good and open to healing. I was grieving my grandmother. She passed years ago, but in that ceremony, I was actually so open heart to heal. Like I was feeling her loss. I was really healing, like open to heal. And then my friend came, and because she became my friend after that. But when she came, I didn't know her. I know she was part of the retreat healers. She came and she put her hands on me. And that was the most speechless experience. Like, I'm always into science. I always like, well, if I'm doing something, it has to have, evidence based, back with science. That was something that still gets me speechless. There are so many things that have been happening after I certify a Reiki healer. But what happens is, like, in that session, I got so much deep healing, and I absolutely fell in love with Reiki. Even though I didn't know that was Reiki, but then when she came and they told me, oh, that's Reiki. I was like, that's Reiki. I love that. Well, I did the most beautiful and deep healing that in that ceremony, and I went home, and I was just thinking, like, a few weeks later, I was like, that is so beautiful, and I would love to bring that to my practice, because I feel that will complement, because my clients, they deal with pain, sometimes pain that they don't know where it's coming from. Sometimes they are dealing with emotional pain, and I could experience the healing, like a deep healing, like emotional, right? Because it was my heart, like literally my heart was so sore for the loss of my grandmother. Like, I felt that, like, it was just, and it could heal me. After that session, I hired my friend, and she gave me some few more Reiki sessions, more like 101, because then I could have a full hour just with her. Because in the ceremony, she was just sharing Reiki with everybody. But then I hired her, and I was like, yes, please come here. And she came, and she gave me some Reiki, and I just kept loving it. And it so much deep healing happened. Like, I wasn't able to grieve my grandmother for so many years. She passed when I was 17. And then this girl came last year, and like, she was able to give me Reiki, and I healed from that in like 2 or 3 weeks. Like, so many years, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I was just so open to heal, and I received the Reiki session in the right timing, and it was just perfect, because I got to experience the deep healing that now I can talk about my grandma and I'm not crying. Like, I can talk about her and I feel joy, I feel peace. I can have this like this like, when you let it go, when you are able to free yourself from the resistance, because you're like, why she left so soon, I miss her so much, I wish she would be here, that type of denial and resistance to just what life is. And now I just have so much peace within me, and it's all because Reiki. So then I became, I was in search all the schools, because I'm always very picky. Well, if I'm gonna get certified, I want to do it with the best school. I always do it. And I went to this beautiful school. Like, they are international Reiki center, and my master, she's like really top, in Reiki healing. And I have an interview with her for like an hour. So I was like, we were like seeing if we had a good fit and all that. And she was so delighted. She was like, yes, come with us and join us. And I set the spot like 2 months before the training program started. And then I did it. And after that, oh my gosh, it's been happening so much that I'm still speechless, because I can't explain with words, and because there are things that I, with science, I can definitely not come and write down in science. I just say I can prove it and I can feel it, and it's just so beautiful. But I think I need to say something. I need to, like, if you, I don't know if everybody knows what Reiki means, and I can come a little bit with the science.
Feel free, feel free. Go right ahead. I was just genuinely curious. I was
Yeah.
like, and
Okay.
I'm sure I'm not the only one. Go ahead, go ahead.
Reiki, yeah, and sure, because I know some people, they never heard about what is Reiki. I didn't even know what it was Reiki until I, by surprise, I received it in my. I was like, nobody told me in theory. I got to experience it. Reiki is a energy healing technique. It's a Japanese technique that was created back in 1923 by Dr. Usui. He was a very gentle, very honorable, and heart, like kind-hearted man. So he was in this big searching for a true peace and for true deep healing. And he was like, it's gotta be something better. It's gotta be something deeper that allowed us to have experience more peace in our life and be healthier. And so then he did an experiment. He went to the forest, and something happened when he was coming back. It's kind of a long story, but I want to kind
Yeah,
of make it
yeah,
short
yeah,
here. We
yeah.
have just 5 minutes left. So, okay.
Do your thing. Do your thing. Go ahead.
He was coming back from the forest. He was kind of like having a retreat by himself. And he thought he will die because he insulated himself really far away in the forest in the middle of nowhere. That happened in Japan. And then, well, he didn't die. He thought he would die. He was just doing like a long meditation and things like that. He didn't die. And then the next day he woke up and he was like, oh, I'm alive. So he was like, it's time to go back to the town. And when he was coming back, he was barefoot. So he was kind of running, and then he stepped on a big, like a sharp piece of a root from a big tree. So the forest where he was, the roots of the trees over there, they are like over the ground. You know how the roots of some trees, they go over the surface of the ground? So those trees, they have that structure. So the roots, they go over the ground. He was running. He stepped on one of those, and it was really bad. Like he was like bleeding, and he got hurt. And by his surprise, with all the practice that he was doing and the searching that he was doing, he was able to heal his feet, like his foot, like if nothing happened, like wow, like miraculously, like with energy healing, like he was able to activate healing. That he went, and with more reasons, he went and he shared that with everybody. He created like a specific technique for the healing by that time. Um, and then he created school. He started to share with people about healing, about Reiki healing. And he started to share the techniques with people, and like sharing the knowledge and sharing his wisdom. And then later on, the wisdom that he brought to the town after his experience and everything, his wisdom came with a lady that she came to Hawaii, and she brought Reiki to this side of the world, from Japan to the United States, to this America. And she also made her own school where she was teaching about Reiki and all that. So some variations and some improvements within the technique has been happening throughout the years, but it was created back in 1923 with Dr. Zui. And then more people and generations have been like bringing up the knowledge, and more people are experiencing it. So with Reiki healing, Reiki means universal life force. So with Reiki healing, we're able to heal not just humans, but also support healing in animals and plants, like basically like living things, right? Um, and what it does, it basically activates healing within your body. So our body's innate ability to heal itself is there. And what happens is when we have blockages in our energy, the blockage interrupts the healing, the natural healing that happens in our body. And when there is a blockage, the healing for like, how explain, like for the body, it turns so hard to heal. Imagine that you have a force of energy that goes through your body and is always healing, 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 making homeostasis. In science, that is called homeostasis, is when the hypothalamus and the pineal gland, those are master glands, they create homeostasis, so the body function is always in equilibrium, in balance. So then we're able to breathe, to digest, to produce new neurons, new cells, to regenerate, to create more new bonds. Like all the things that happen that are amazing. Our bodies are just so perfect. But our bodies are designed to heal themselves, right? So when the energy is blocked, that's where Reiki comes, and Reiki is able to activate, to allow the energy to flow, so then your body is able to heal. And that's what Reiki is. Yeah.
All right. So if I understood you, heard you correctly, and you correct me if I'm wrong,
Mhm.
Reiki means
Energy life force,
universal
universal life force.
life force.
Yes, that's
And doing Reiki activates our inner universal life force.
yes. Our
And
self
by
healing
by doing that, it enhances and speeds up homeostasis,
in the
which
body.
is the healing process of the body.
Yeah, the balancing, the keeping everything in equilibrium. And you
Right?
can experience that if you get cut. You don't need to go and pray to your finger, oh, heal. You don't need to go. Like involuntary. All those cells are working for us. They come, and they are like, oh, we got a work to do here. And they go, imagine these little soldiers.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
go and they repair and they create the tissues that are broken down. Like they're able to do all the healing. Our
Yeah.
bodies are designed to heal themselves.
Well, I'm genuinely interested in learning more, and you know I like hearing you talk because like ever since that one time, how right now the hypothalamus and the other gland, the master glands that create the homeostasis, and it always sounds like we're listening to a Discovery Channel when we're talking, when we're listening to you, you know. For everybody else who's still on right now, I was talking to her one time in the beginning, and she was just mentioning her skin, right? And she was like the epidermis, and whatever else she was saying, and I was like, right on, okay, but basically, with that being said, that's our time for today. It's 2 minutes past 7. Obviously, we can continue to go. We're just having a good time as always, and you're just an abundant of light. Obviously, many people here have seen that. Someone else named Lynn Tan also says hi. And
Hi.
from that, where can people connect with you? Where can people find you, Lilo?
They can find me at www.lilomarhealth.com. I can write it down in the chat actually.
Go ahead and
Um,
do that.
health.com. People can find me on my Instagram. My handle is lelomar_health. So lelomar_health. Yeah. Yeah, and I am also on like LinkedIn, YouTube. I have my podcast on Spotify. It's called Lelomar Health. I also have a group in Meetup. It's called Holistic Health and Wellness. So I can share the links here if you guys want.
Do
But
it.
you guys can
Do
join
it.
me.
Do it. Do it.
Okay. Where? Okay, I think I have it right here.
Really
Yeah,
quick, while she's finding that, for everyone else who's still on right now, this is something new we're doing with the Mega Mix Expo pop-ups, Mega Mix Expo interviews, right? Basically interviewing all of you as exhibitors. Lilo was an exhibitor at the Santa Anita Racetrack Mega Mix Expo, and the goal is to spotlight you, your business, and what you do and how you can help people. So that way you don't have to wait until the very next Mega Mix Expo. You can plug in right here. We can interview you right here and then continue to grow from that. I actually did the very first one initially, just like Tony and I getting it going. But as far as like getting into all the exhibitors, Lilo right here is the first one. So if you're interested in us interviewing you, just DM me after we're done right here or comment however you like. But DM me afterwards. We're about to log out and now we can interview next on here. And also, that's why we created the basically getting the Marketing Fridays, right? Where we're basically that right there is a studio where you guys can come in person and actually get marketing done live, complimentary, like bust out your phones, your camera, your gear, all that. Lila was there the other day, right? And
It was
so,
really fun.
yeah. And so that way it's a space for you guys to come in and network and build and be more productive and grow your revenue. I do want to say I'm a testimonial of the Mega Mix Expo because for myself personally, since August straight through till this month, I've been generating revenue every single month. So it works. It just, got to plug in and follow up with people, obviously, right? But it's a good network of people because they're all serious about their business because they all pay to be there, right? So with that being said, essentially, the Mega Mix Expo next one coming up is in July. And then from there, we have another one for next year in 2025 where people can already register for. You can already start prepaying, like even at let's say put a deposit for $100, for the next year, and you don't have to pay all in advance. So that's just stuff about the Mega Mix Expo, what's going on with that. But I'm gonna switch it back over to Lilo right now in regards to her links. I'm assuming she's about to drop them down in the comments so you can all connect with her. Are you putting those in the comment right now, Lilo?
Yeah, I think it's just easier. Everything is on my website. So just click on my website and everything is there.
All right.
If I share every single one of them, it's like a long list, like 10 links.
All right.
Everything is integrated in my website. My Instagram, my LinkedIn, my YouTube, my podcast, my webinar. If you go to the session that has my podcast, you will see it in my website and my webinar. So yeah, everybody's welcome to join me. Be friends with me. I would love to hear about you guys, to keep inspiring you and sharing more. So yeah, feel free to go and follow and check it out and connect with me.
All right then. Well, that's it. All right, folks. Till next time. Thank you, Lilo. As always.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And thank you, everybody that listened to us today. Thank you. Until the next one.
All right. We'll see you guys. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Lilo, ¿cómo ayudas a gente?
Can you do it again? I'm just like laughing. Because you were like, Lilo.
That was cute. You should act like that.
Yeah.
What?
People need to see your cuteness.
Yeah, we're gonna put that in.
Yeah.
Okay. That was so cute. Oh my god.
Okay. Lilo, ¿cómo ayudas a la gente?
Ok, yo ayudo a las personas